So here I am working on straightness training with Spice because in addition to doing flexing and circles and bending and hindquarter yielding, shoulder yielding, and all those yielding things that involve bending the body, you also have to work on straightness for those times that you want to ride down a straight line, like in a show or on the trail. So your horse has to understand straightness training. And one way to do that that's in the arena, that's not on a trail, and this is just one of many exercises. This is like the beginning, is to go along the fence line, and if the horse veers off, say, a 3 or 4 foot path and doesn't self-correct, then you pull the horse back in line with your rein toward the fence or toward the arena, whichever side they veer the wrong direction to. Like sometimes they'll look with their head way out beyond the arena, and you might have to pull their head back in. So, but you always give the chance to self-correct first. And as you can see, Spice is pretty good going along the fence line. You can't see it, but I was having a little bit of trouble with her looking out into the pasture. And so I would just, kind of pull her head back in place and give her a chance to do it right. But this turned into also barn sour training at the same time, which happens when you've got a gate in your arena. I actually don't even have a gate. I have an open space where right when she got wiggly there, it's right where she could decide to go through that opening and back to the barn. So while I was in the middle of straightness training, she displayed just a little bit of barn sourness, which all horses have magnets. It's not uncommon. But while she's being broke and while she's having a foundation put on her, this is a good time to teach her not to be barn sour. So you can see as we pass by the opening how she veers over that direction. And that time, because it wasn't too bad, I just steered her with the reins and I gave her a little kick on the gate side, on the opening side of her barrel. Okay, so here we go, and here she gets really barn sour. So I give her a good correction here. Now this isn't necessarily straightness training. This is the barn sour training. So she's coming along in her straightness training. I reach the opening of the arena to go back to the barn, and she begins to really veer with her shoulder. So I just take that leg and give her a real good, significant push. I am not wearing spurs at this time with her, but also I pull her around basically toward my hip with that inside rein, and she clearly knows by my overreaction that I wasn't happy. And then we're able to continue on, and everything is released. All pressure on the reins, all pressure on the sides is released when she goes straight. You can see she's going to veer a little here. There she is, and I just gave her a little kick. That's all it took. Okay, so and then I continue on with the straightness training, just making her go up and down that fence line without veering too far to the left or the right, and giving her the chance to self-correct. Here again, the second time around, she's going to get barn sour again. So again, we do the correction again. Okay, and this will need more work as we continue. So it's not like you're going to, it takes more than one day to teach a horse something. It really takes ongoing training through their whole life, and that's why you see the trainers' horses are better than backyard horses, because they're always training them. They don't just hop on them and ride and think that, a month with a trainer made the perfect horse. Everything that a trainer does can be undone if you let your horse get hold of the stuff, and they can continue to work on it. So, here we come, back again toward the fence, and we'll see what she does.
I'd like to finish it on her.
Just doing a little getting over to the fence line now. Go. And we're going to come toward this opening here. And remember, this is after 2 but I still bring her around again. Okay. So by now she should be getting the message, honestly. And that wasn't near as severe. So I just did a quick turnaround to bring myself past there again. So, and there she is fighting me again. So again, circle her. Okay, so we're having our little come to Jesus moment right here. And what was supposed to be straightness training right here really turned into an exercise in teaching your horse not to be barn sour. So this is how you do it.
Good
You work them
girl.
right where they give you the
Good
problem.
girl.
And you can see that that time she got it. That time she was like, wow,
There was a
okay.
lot of
Because I made her do it over and over again, and I made her do it right after she made the mistake. And there,
when
that
it's a
was
different
much
size.
better,
See, like
even
that
though
time
she
she
still
wasn't
got
that bad.
jiggly
On
and wiggly, and she veered a little. She still did it much better than before. So that's why I say it'll take continued work. So I go to try it on the other side here because it's important when you teach a horse something, you've got to teach it on both sides. And so I begin to pass the opening to the arena on the left side. Now, this is exactly what you do for straightness training, only it's not quite as corrective. In straightness training, you're giving them a lot of time to self-correct. In barn sour training, they've already made the decision to not be correct. So now we're back to straightness training. So you can see how I just combined the straightness training with the barn sour training. And so here we are. We're going to come back past this opening again. So I could have just decided to work on straightness by just going along a side that didn't have an opening, but since the problem cropped up while I was riding, I decided that it was a good time to deal with it while it was happening. So here we go, and she throws her head a little. That's okay. She's just being broke, and she still didn't veer as strongly as she did before. So here we go again. That was good.
He's also dating.